backcountry road by our house, carrying a briefcase. And something in my heart said, give that guy a ride. But I've watched too much CSI and too much Without a Trace. So I drove by this guy, not just once, but 5 times. All of a sudden, I rolled down the window and said, sir, can I give you a ride? He said, absolutely. Can you take me to the interstate? I-40 runs across the state of Tennessee. I said, sir, we're a little bit good distance from I-40, and so we're going to have to take some more country roads to get there. But literally would have to pass by my house. And so all of a sudden, the Spirit of God says, Ed, before you take him to the interstate, bring him over for dinner. He looked homeless, carrying a briefcase. I was a little bit concerned about what was in the briefcase, because he was holding it in his lap and he would not let go of it. So we get into the driveway. His name was Kevin. I said, Kevin, I said, could you wait out here for a second? I need to tell my wife we have company for dinner. And so I came into the kitchen. I said, Stephanie, long story, have company. He's homeless, carrying a briefcase. Hopefully he'll leave it in the car. Kevin walks in our house holding the briefcase. I'm thinking, dun, 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 it's over. So we sit down at the table. Kevin's about 5'3", 5'4", and he's wearing everything we have. I mean, he's wearing it out. He's completely consumed every leftover item in the fridge, what my wife's prepared. I mean, dude is doing work at the table. So all of a sudden, I just go, you know what? This is getting a little bit weird, a little bit awkward. I'm just going to go straight with the Jesus question. So he's like mid-fork. I go, Kevin, have you ever given your life to Jesus? All of a sudden he puts the fork down, grabs the briefcase that was under the table, slams it on the table. It wasn't one of those little duffel bag briefcases. It was one of those hard shell briefcases. When it opens up, you can't see on the other side. It was like we were playing a game of Battleship. I'm thinking, it's over. Dude's packing heat. It's over. He said, thank you so much for asking me that question. And he put 2 books on the table. Number 1, Purpose-Driven Life, and a New Testament Bible. He said, man, just a couple weeks ago, I got out of Alcoholics Anonymous. I had a friend of mine give me these 2 books, and I began to read them and realize I didn't have a relationship with Jesus. I became a Christian just a couple days ago. God gave me this job in Knoxville, Tennessee. He said, I'm from Texas. My van broke down. I just left it because I had a short window to get there. Hitchhiking all across the state of Texas. Finally got into Memphis area. Hitchhiked a little bit more. And all of a sudden, I find myself on the side of the road, I-40. State trooper pulls up and says, hey, you can't do this. Puts me on a side back country road. And I've been lost for hours. And all of a sudden, you drive by, not just once, but 5 times. And bring me over for dinner. And then he said this, and I'll never forget it. He said, isn't God good?
Yeah. Awesome.
In that moment, amen. I don't share that with you to showcase my faith. I share that with you to showcase my faithlessness. Because it was in that moment that I looked at my wife and I just kind of in my own spirit, God, I'm sorry. But I'm telling you, when you belong to Jesus, you'll feel the friction and the tension in your heart when it comes to obeying Jesus. And if you say you love Jesus, obedience has to be the common denominator of your life.